Well, I want to move into Blake Corum here. I know you guys were talking running backs this week. I think at last check, he was, I believe, 75th on your guys' board. The last update that you did, and what we've seen from him the last few years is a lot of, the short yardage smash mouth type of production. We've seen him slim down a little bit this offseason, work out of the slot, as he tries to prove that he can do some more of those other things. And I guess my question for you would be, do you see something like that changing his stock heading into the home stretch? I mean, when you look at a guy that's 5'8", 205 on paper, I know there's probably a lot of NFL teams that look at that and are a little uneasy about that, just given, the workload that he already has and just what that next step might look like. But where do you see his stock right now? And do you think he can be a guy that, is he a bell cow? Is he someone who's more of a tandem type of guy? Like, where do you see him fitting at the next level?
I love Blake Corum. I think he's the best running back in this draft. I think he's being not necessarily unfairly, but perhaps too criticized for the fact that he wasn't quite the same guy coming back off injury. Unless we think that is a permanent status going forward, that injury simply took away the best of Blake Corum's career. There are times where an injury takes a year to come back from, right? There's how quickly can you get back on the field, and then there's when are you actually 100%? When are you the same guy you were before the injury? I think we just saw Blake Corum take a while to go from one state of being to the other. He was back on the field pretty quickly, but he wasn't the same guy, and he visibly wasn't the same guy. But I think towards the end of the season, we started to see more of the 2022 version of Blake Corum. And that guy, in my opinion, is the best running back in this draft. And if that's who you're getting going forward, you're getting an incredible talent. You're getting a guy who I think is the most natural runner in terms of exploiting gaps, in terms of maximizing what's there. The only real flaw in his game, I think, is the top end speed. But you can say that about a lot of the running backs in this draft. There's not necessarily a ton of these home run hitters, and that's the sort of smallest negative anyway. Like if the guy's making it 50 yards before somebody's chasing him down from behind, I'm okay with that. It's a pretty useful play to get 50 yards before you're tackled. So I think that being your biggest weakness is fine. The bell cow thing, maybe he's not going to be an every down 300 carry a season type of back, but there's not many of those guys in the NFL anymore anyway. So I don't think that's a massive problem either. There's sort of 3 or 4 of those guys in the league. Everybody else is operating from some kind of backfield committee. And there's no reason that Blake Corum can't be the lead back in that kind of dynamic.
This looks like he can be a team that sets that record of guys that were drafted in a single year. I know Georgia had the record a few years ago with 15. Maybe Michigan gets up into that 16, 17, 18 range. But of those guys after that core 5 or 6, I mean, who are you looking at in this Michigan class that you think might have a chance to be a day 3 guy that has a long and productive NFL career?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Junior Colson is one guy that's intriguing. I think when you start looking at how the NFL has been drafting linebackers recently, they're not good at it. Like they don't know where they're going at the moment. Like linebacker, number one, the job has gotten so hard at the NFL level. Every offensive development over the last 15 years has essentially been designed to put linebackers in conflict every single snap and make them try and cover 2 or 3 different things and make them always wrong. So when you start looking at, first linebacker drafted in the last 10 years, it's not a good group of players. Like the league is not good at identifying these guys, but linebacker is still as valuable as it's ever been. So, somebody like him who's got proven high quality play in a good defense in an NFL system, I think absolutely has the chance to not just be drafted, but stick and become a good player at the next level. And it's definitely someone I think worth rolling the dice on. And then Michigan, the other area they've got a great track record with is offensive linemen. And it's someone like, Zach Zinter, I think would be an intriguing guy. And also because they don't just have a track record with offensive linemen and sending good guys to the NFL, but they have a track record of some of these linemen who are sort of, when you start reading the scouting reports and you look at the negative column, and it's always, he's sort of too big and slow and needs to be in a specific offense. These guys keep coming into the league and being better than that. Someone like Michael Owenu was supposed to be limited to can't play him a tackle. He's a guard. He's too slow. He's too big. That guy is a good caliber starting right tackle and just got paid like it by the Patriots. So somebody like that coming into the league and being, like a 10-year starter on the offensive line absolutely wouldn't shock me either.
What stands out about Michigan players who go to the NFL, or even when you're watching Michigan, right, or studying tape of a prospect there? Like, is there a common thread? Is it, the pro system that they run, or, the way they prepare, or, the way that their strength and conditioning program seems to ready them? I mean, is there something common about these Michigan guys that you see time and time again come through the college level to the NFL?
I mean, I think it is that readiness, the fact that they've had Harbaugh there and they've been running effectively a professional program at the college level. These guys don't have an adjustment period the way some other prospects do. They are doing NFL things. They're professionals. They're college professionals already. So all you need to do is to just plug them into a new place and a new system, and they're ready to go. Like some of these other college prospects, they're not in a sort of professional environment really. And they're running schemes that are very, very different from what they're going to have to do at the next level. So the adjustment is just significantly different. The Michigan guys understand what the requirements are going to be at the next level. They're already conditioned to that level of toughness and the mental strains and requirements that it's going to need. And they're just good to go. I think the kind of common theme is this plug and play ability that they bring to the table.